whatever is taking place has nothing to do with racism or revenge. It has to do with, for whatever man sow he shall also reap. And what is due to Caesar has to be given. There comes a times when the truth has to arrive for clarity. The devil had a very long rope and he spoke many lies. Now, let me start off by saying this. Imagine making fun of Magnum eyes, not knowing that the cross eye that you was making fun of, it was Sangani's eye. Sangani, the black man, the tall black man with dreads, Evans, gatekeeper, the king of the universe, the king of the ocean. How can Sangani be the king of the ocean when the heaven is in the sky? The heaven is not in the sky. The heavens is where the Bermuda Triangle is. The devil don't want the people to know that heavens have a gateway. That's the gateway to the heavens. And no one can get past Sangani, who is the black man, the king of the universe. And that black doesn't represent power, it represents unity, it represents love, it represents strength. Black doesn't represent mourning, it doesn't represent poverty. Poverty was placed onto black people who are from the royal bloodline by the devil and the Illuminati, who stole the money, the wealth, and built up their city and told lies. You see, the devil lied and said he had no affiliation with the Illuminatis. And then he brought marriage and brought some blue-eyed people into the royal bloodline and signed some covenant. And that's the reason why Sangani cursed the royal bloodline, because the royal bloodline is filled with people with integrity, people who live by the truth, people who live with love, who don't see racism. So understand, Sangani now being in control of the universe, because we no longer vibrate from the 3G frequency. It is now the 5G frequency of love, unity. We're going to have a big change in the universe, because I stood up for the royal bloodline and broke that curse. The wealth that the white man is sitting on doesn't belong to them. It belongs to Sangani, the black people, royal bloodline. But there's a reason why black people was always being targeted into confusion and chaos. Because when you're from the royal bloodline, your memories flow through the DNA, not the brain. That is why when you do something that the spirit doesn't like, you feel it through your pores. One of the reasons why the devil always tries to keep the royal bloodline in chaos, because Whenever they sit at peace and stillness, they would hear the voice of the divine. And that's not the problem, you see. One chosen one is all it takes, because it is contagious. One of them wake up, the whole royal bloodline wake up. That's why it was always a fight to keep us asleep. The world will witness the truth. It was never about hype, it was never about fame. It was about prophecy, restoring what was stolen from the royal bloodline. It's been years they disrespected. Imagine disrespecting a black man when the king of the universe, the God of judgment, is a black man. But Jamaica faced, it was a test. A test to see how black people would react with a little touch. Remember, the heavens is not in the sky. It is the heavens where the devil lives. That is on the Statue of Liberty in New York. The city of lights, where they don't get blackout, because the devil don't like black, the devil don't like dark. Because when Sangani leave the heavens and roam the universe, he appears in a black form with a chain, and the devil don't have eyes to see Sangani. That's why he don't like dark, and that's why me say dark as ever. It was an indirect message to the devil, letting him know. Whenever they spoke about 3 days of darkness, it is not to get mankind scared, it's to turn off the lights, to blind the demons and get some clarity. If the Illuminati stretch out the time, the world will witness what's going to happen to New York City, where the devil is. Remember, there is nowhere to run. Nowhere. The king of the universe is here. Sangani. The world will have to call his name, because he is the king of the universe, the gatekeeper for heaven. Those black people you see today out there is the reason why the bloodline was being cursed, because they used marriage and signed covenant and brought demons into our bloodline. Black people are not loud and brawling people. Royal bloodline is very quiet and peaceful. Demons is noisy. Relation don't come through last name. It comes through DNA. That's why if you take a look at the picture with Magnum and Movado, Magnum and Cena, you will see it's from the same DNA. And it's one of the reasons why they always try to separate us. Because when those from the royal DNA comes together, the memories comes alive, and then they remember. And it was all about keeping them to don't ever remember who they truly are. That's why no boy could not buy me. That's why I say rich and not talk. I always tell my woman, Since as a little boy, when I get big, I just see myself as a king for living in one palace and have beer made. If you feel like a gallus thing, it's not gallus thing. Sangani said, before placing me into my mother's womb, I was sitting on his lap in his palace in heaven. I am of royalty. I was never poverty, but I played it small. My true wealth is material things or money. I have one of the greatest inheritance, a direct connection with the source. It's like you can pick up your phone and call God. What is there to hide when Sangani reveals everything unto me? Never once I spoke a lie. The world will witness respect and love. The table has turned, and the papa shall turn into a king. King shall come upon.